How you doing, guys? ZDEyE here. Today I wanted to talk about Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin. Now, this is going to be my review and it is going to be mainly based on my opinion. I understand it, you have your own as well. Now, but I definitely want to clarify one of the few things regarding of the titling of this video. You might, or some of you might get triggered by it, right? One thing's for certainty, I said in the title that this is the worst Dark Souls game, well obviously in the Dark Souls series. Well obviously there's only 3, well that's to consider. Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, if we consider taking these routes, Dark Souls 2 is definitely the weakest of them all. I think that Dark Souls 3 does a very good job of how it goes with the pacing and the story and everything like that. Dark Souls 1 also is a brand new title, well, not really new. It's a new innovation, so to say, by even Demon Souls done it before, actually thinking about it now. But anyway, I've never played Demon Souls, I've never played Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I will play Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, I will play Demon Souls Remastered, hopefully whenever it does come out. But I've played already Dark Souls 3, I played already Dark Souls 1, and now I'm playing through Dark Souls 2. And I want to mention what I mean by that, what I'm playing through. Because I actually will be going for a Platinum Trophy, and that I'm playing it, right? That's why I'm playing it. I want to experience the whole through game, because obviously if you try to go for a Platinum Trophy, it means that you pretty much have to kinda 100% the game. Yes, this means killing everybody, seeing through, keeping pretty much all the NPCs alive if it's necessary, of course. Now, I definitely wanted to mention this one thing before I continue with the review. I do use the guide. There's just no possible way that I don't think anyone can actually do this game on a blindfolded, like let's say, and not, like, you would not know what the hell to do for the quests anyway. And that's insane compared to this game and what it tries to be. It's absolutely... it does not hold your hand, basically. And I have loved that, absolutely adore it. That's why I love Dark Souls, any of them, because they all do the similar route with it. To some degree, a little bit, always similar. Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, all similar routes with the questing line. What the fuck? That's kind of a concern already coming in. I'm just noticing a giant pattern of similarities to all the Dark Souls. They are identical in a lot of ways. Dark Souls 2, I can tell you this much, tried something different. Because, as well, I feel like this went a little bit more on a version of storyline telling, I think. Now, obviously we all know, and I know, Dark Souls is very cryptic game. You wouldn't really understand what the hell sometimes you have been playing or getting yourself into. Dark Souls is a difficult game. But here's another thing I mentioned in the title of the video. It is the easiest Dark Souls I've played. Bloodborne is perhaps, in my opinion, the hardest FromSoftware game that I've played so far. Again, did not play Sekiro, did not play Demon Souls, so I cannot comment on those. Bloodborne is the hardest. Maybe Dark Souls 3 will be the second hardest, I would say, and maybe Dark Souls 1 Remastered will be the third hardest, whatever. And lastly, Dark Souls 2 is probably the easiest, and my god. But it's also the longest comparing to that, but also it's not as interconnected as Dark Souls 1 or 3, but maybe that's a bad point. I actually think that's not a good thing. I really don't think it's a good thing. Sure, there's variations of different places that you can visit and see and learn and explore, of course, but I think some kind of core element of what Dark Souls is the interconnected world and how everything comes around and always brings you back to the places that you were like questioning, how the hell do I enter this door or this specific door that I cannot open? I need a key, for example. For that I need to explore a completely different area. You come back to this certain area, you can finally open this door up. Or you go around the place, you open the door from the other direction, right? This is what Dark Souls, in my opinion, is. Dark Souls 2 does not go with that route, not too much. It does to a certain degree, but not too much. That's unless, of course, if you go for the Platinum Trophy. I'm already noticing that. If you go for the Platinum Trophy, you already can see how you are coming back to the places you've been before, and you get to see how is everything somewhat interconnected. Not to the, not to 100% degree like the Dark Souls 1 or 3 does, but Dark Souls 2 is a damn good and fine game. It's definitely one of the better games out there that I've played. It's not one of those like, eh. What I'm trying to tell you is Dark Souls 2 is not a absolute garbage of a game. I'm not saying it's an awful game. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying it's a bad game comparison of what the FromSoftware managed to make. And that's the thing what I wanted to mention. It does not mean that the game is bad. I actually think that I love this game. It's a fantastic game, definitely. But by the comparisons that we have to do from all these Dark Souls games, this Dark Souls 2 is the weakest of them all that I've played so far. Well, I wanted to mention as well, Dark Souls has a special place in my heart. Dark Souls 3 is my very first game that I've played, and I told myself I'll finish it no matter what, even if from so many frustrations. I managed to finish it, I've killed all the bosses. It was a fun game, definitely a fun experience. I decided to actually revisit Bloodborne. Well, that was a pain in the ass. Wow. And anyway, so that was a pain in the ass. I'm still remembering these moments anyway. So I decided to come back. I played Bloodborne, the DLCs, got everything 100% Platinum Trophy as well. I decided to come back to Dark Souls 3 and DLCs, played those, finished those as well, kill all the bosses. Almost all the bosses actually in the DLC. But then I decided to play all the Dark Souls games. Dark Souls 1 Remastered, that came out a year ago, 2018 to be more precise. And I played that, finished that, killed all the bosses as well. It was a fun damn game. And now, as I mentioned to myself, Dark Souls 2 is going to be my next rat, and here we are making a review of it. And now I already finished the game, and yeah, I'm about to go for a Platinum Trophy as well. Now, I wanted to mention this is quite important. The ending. This is not really a story, so it's not really spoilery. So basically, as you know, Dark Souls always have these variations of endings, right? So far, I've noticed that there are two endings. One of the endings basically was a completely disappointment of a fucking boss. I seriously think it's a complete disappointment of a boss. Seriously, it's worse than Dark Souls 1. It's worse than Bloodborne. Yeah, definitely. Bloodborne has a fantastic ending boss in my personal opinion. Yeah. Dark Souls 3 was it was a good ending as well. My god, I played so many Dark Souls games. I've faced so many bosses. I can't even think of the ending bosses at this moment. But Dark Souls 1 was a little bit of a disappointing boss as well, to be honest with you. You can always parry, and obviously you need to be spot on with timing, of course. Dark Souls 2, now that boss was a complete fucking joke. Stay in a big difference, well, the distance from the enemy boss, whoever she is, whatever she is. Shoot her with these soul spears, and that's it. You obliterate her, literally. It was easy. No, it was not a challenge at all. Now, you have two options, obviously. Enter this light. Basically, you will be thrown by inside this cavern-looking thing. I'm not too sure what that is. And anyway, or you have another option. Completely ignore this and go your way back. And don't become king. Don't be thrown, if that makes any sense. Well, wow. Anyway, you see it's very cryptic. It's Dark Souls. What the hell do you expect? What do you expect, eh? Now, I like the way there's only pretty much, as I noticed, there's actually was 2 to 3 blacksmiths. I think there was only 2 actually, on top of my mind anyway. And I've noticed that there are different variations as well of the NPCs are far more and greater amount, I think anyway, in that it does in Dark Souls 1. And I like that. Oh, it's even more than Dark Souls 3 as well, I think so. There's a trophy as well. I think you need to save 7 NPCs, and they have to come to your place into to the save area anyway. There's a lot of covenants as well, making a return, but unfortunately they really are not meaningless or anything like that. They're just there for the hell of it. There's also a extremely repetitive grind that you need to collect the sunlight medals. Well, I still remember the name. It was extremely repetitive. And they pretty much kill every time an enemy or a boss, not boss, but an enemy, and they randomly drop those. Obviously, you can have an armor that increases the drop rate. No. Any game that has this sort of repetitive grind, I'm not exactly down for it. I would do it still, but I think it's a bad thing in my book. Dark Souls is more of a, I feel like going to the RPG base of a route, and people love it. I love it. Maybe not so much that it goes with the RPG route, but I still see it as that. But anyway, I'm sorry that I might have triggered quite a few of you, and I definitely want to apologize that. Now, before I go, basically, I was playing the DLC of the Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, and I encountered this area, one area, and I got this message. It completely broke my CD or disc or wherever. I'm getting a replacement currently as we speak for me to continue get the Platinum Trophy. Now you could be asking me, why do you need to play the DLCs if you only need a Platinum Trophy? Just play a vanilla game, do all the stuff for that. No, the problem with this is that this is a Scholar of the First Sin version of the game. This means it comes with it, all the DLCs and the trophies attached with the vanilla game. That sucks. This means I have to do a little bit more grinding. Maybe not grinding, but more boss killing as well. And going through the areas on top of that. That sucks. So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a couple more days. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. That they will be arriving 28 or 20 till the 22nd anyway. That really does suck, to be honest. But by that time, I think I'll be playing Dark Souls 3 and trying to get the Platinum Trophy on that as well. Well, alright, well then, I think I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. I got a pretty special video coming up tomorrow. Well, yeah, tomorrow. Anyway, it's gonna be a good one. Anyway, have a good one, guys. Have a good one.